There are some other wrinkles to all of this, including signs that a summit could be back on track, which could change this, that is with the North Koreans, and that the meeting could be on for June 12th. Ahead of that, word that the president is going to meet with Japan's Prime Minister Abe on June 7th, so maybe that could be setting the stage for something. We shall see. To former State Department Deputy Spokesman Adam Ereli. Very good to have you, sir. What do you make of these cross currents we're getting? This Kim Jong-ho, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, the vice chair of North Korea, longtime spy chief. I guess he's like a version of their CIA guy. He's coming to town, but he's a pretty ruthless character. So the fact that he's coming means what?
Well, first of all, they're all ruthless characters.
Well, you're right about that.
So that's number one. Number two, this is not a prediction game. Because if you're going to make a prediction, chances are at one point you're going to be wrong. I think the most certain things we can say is that there are a couple of things that are already clear. Number one, and just judging from what's happened already, and remember, we're at the beginning of the process, but a couple of things are already clear. Number one, China and South Korea are playing pivotal roles in this process. The leaders of North Korea went to China and South Korea each twice in the last month. They're what got us to this point. And as this process plays out, we are not going to be able to get to yes, either on an original meeting or a final deal without China and South Korea. That's number one.
Right, but if we're toughening our stance on trade with China, is that complicated?
Yeah, of course. Hugely.
So why are we doing it?
I guess people smarter than me figure there's a good reason for it.
There's no one smarter than me.
No, please. Okay. Anyway, number two, this process is playing out in the media, right? They're using the media as part of the negotiating process.
Who's using the media?
Both sides. Okay. And it's a two-edged sword. The media can hurt as much as help. Look, if you read The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump says the media is, part of his negotiating process. But we're not dealing here with some two-bit business executive. Kim Jong-un is a tyrant who has killed hundreds of thousands of his people by famine and execution. He executed his uncle with an anti-aircraft gun, for Pete's sake. So if we think
he's the only one we can negotiate with,
but if we think this guy's going to be intimidated by the media or has to answer to his own people...
So why did he come back or want to come back to the table?
I think two things, as I said before. I think it's China and South Korea brought him back. I mean, look, right after that letter, President Moon asked for a meeting with Kim Jong-un, the president of South Korea. They met again in the demilitarized zone, and everything was back on. So that's why I say South Korea is playing a very important role.
Well, let me ask you about the second meeting that the North Korean leader had with the Chinese leader. It was that sit down that had Donald Trump thinking something was said there to derail this. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that?
Part of what bothered the United States is that we weren't told about it. And we didn't get a proper readout of it, and we thought we were getting double dealt with. But, this brings me to my third point, is this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's going to take a long time. There are going to be lots of twists and turns.
But they're only going to meet for, if it comes to pass, Ambassador, they're only going to meet for one day. And then
but my point is, the meeting is just the sort of starting gun.
Right.
The goal is that
this isn't even Reykjavik, right? I mean, that was over a period of days.
Right. And Reykjavik, they'd already sort of agreed on a number of things.
And then Reagan walked.
But what are we trying to do? We're trying to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, North and South Korea. That's going to take a long time to negotiate. And this meeting is just the starting gun, and we can't even get the meeting. So what does that say about the process? You've got to have discipline. You've got to have focus. You've got to have stamina. And my concern is that with all the other things on the president's plate, China trade, immigration, Iran, the Mueller investigation, the congressional investigations. Does he have the bandwidth to see this through? And is he willing to spend the time and invest the political capital to make the compromises that are going to be necessary for an agreement? If he's that sensitive about one meeting between the North Korean leader and China, it doesn't augur well for the long haul.
So you're not optimistic with any results of the meeting, whether it comes to pass or not?
I just say this is very complicated, and it takes a long time, and complexity and long-term thinking are not necessarily our greatest strengths.
Ambassador, thank you very much.